Welcome to Empowered Echoes 8. Embark on a profound journey of self-discovery as we delve into these timeless treasures, extracting 20 valuable life lessons that will resonate with your soul. Our unique interpretations will ignite your curiosity, broaden your horizons, and empower you to navigate life's challenges with newfound clarity and purpose.
It's kind of fun to do the impossible. Walt Disney. Lesson number 20. Recollect that the incomprehensible is in many cases simply a discernment, and by thinking for even a second to resist it, you can open your actual potential. Lesson number 19. Commend the delight and feeling of achievement that comes from accomplishing what was once considered unthinkable. Lesson number 18. Trust in your instinct and internal vision, for they can direct you towards the unimaginable. Lesson number 17. Motivate others to have confidence in the force of the unthinkable and urge them to seek after their own fantasies. Lesson number 16. Challenge limits and cultural standards, preparing for additional opportunities and forward leaps. Lesson number 15. Embrace the actual excursion, tracking down delight during the time spent taking a stab at the incomprehensible. Lesson number 14. View mishaps and disappointments as significant learning, valuable open doors that move you nearer to the incomprehensible. Lesson number 13. Relinquish self-uncertainty and embrace the conviction that you are fit for accomplishing the remarkable. Lesson number 12. Embrace versatility and steadiness when confronted with snags on the way to the incomprehensible. Lesson number 11. Separate huge difficulties into more modest, sensible advances and celebrate progress en route. Lesson number 10. Encircle yourself with similar people who move and backing your quest for the unthinkable. Lesson number 9. Comprehend that disappointment isn't a misfortune, however a venturing stone towards the incomprehensible. Lesson number 8. Saddle your inventiveness and creative mind to open imaginative arrangements and thoughts. Lesson number 7. Face challenges and push the limits of what is viewed as reachable. Lesson number 6. Develop a feeling of experience and embrace the excitement of venturing outside your usual range of familiarity. Lesson number 5. Embrace the obscure and consider it to be a chance for development and revelation. Lesson number 4. Have faith in your capacity to surprise everyone and achieve what others consider unthinkable. Lesson number 3. Track down energy and satisfaction in chasing after the apparently impossible. Lesson number 2. Challenge customary reasoning and try to think past the cutoff points. Lesson number 1. Embrace an outlook of probability and open yourself to the delight of investigating the incomprehensible. A woman's heart should be so hidden in God that a man has to seek him just to find her. Max Lucado. Lesson number 20. Recollect that the magnificence of a heart concealed in God is that it draws in an accomplice who sees and esteems your heavenly association, encouraging an adoration that is established in otherworldly profundity. Lesson number 19. Ask altogether, welcoming God's presence into your relationship and looking for His direction. Lesson number 18. Pick an accomplice who upholds and empowers your profound excursion, rousing each other to constantly look for God. Lesson number 17. Cultivate open correspondence about confidence and otherworldliness with your accomplice, supporting a mutual perspective and development. Lesson number 16. Believe that a man who looks for God first will be more prepared to appreciate and respect your heart. Lesson number 15. Recollect that affection ought to be an augmentation of God's adoration inside you, upgrading your otherworldly development and association. Lesson number 14. Look for an accomplice who perceives and esteems the profundity of your relationship with God. Lesson number 13. Permit God to be your definitive wellspring of satisfaction, liberating you from depending on others for bliss. Lesson number 12. Embrace the excursion of self-disclosure, knowing that as you move nearer to God, you become more attractive to the ideal individual. Lesson number 11. Petition God for your accomplice dedication to God, making an amicable, profound bond. Lesson number 10. Perceive that a relationship grounded in a common confidence can develop your association with an accomplice. Lesson number 9. Try not to put your value exclusively chasing close connections, tracking down fulfillment in God's affection first. Lesson number 8. Practice tolerance and give up, believing that God will arrange divine associations in His amazing luck. Lesson number 7. Permit God to shape your personality, making you an individual of respectability, consideration, and beauty. Lesson number 6. Center around self-improvement and profound turn of events, turning into your best self. Lesson number 5. Trust in God's arrangement for your life, realizing that He will lead the ideal individual to you with impeccable timing. Lesson number 4. Embrace the excellence of a heart concealed in God, tracking down strength and satisfaction in His adoration. Lesson number 3. Look for God's presence and astuteness in your life, permitting Him to shape your longings and aims. Lesson number 2. Develop a profound otherworldly association that turns into the groundwork of your being. Lesson number 1. Focus on your relationship with God regardless of anything else, permitting Him to direct your heart. Pain is temporary. Quitting lasts forever. Lance Armstrong, Sally Jenkins. Lesson number 20. Praise the triumphs that come from enduring through torment, realizing that they are the aftereffect of your relentless responsibility. Lesson number 19. Encircle yourself with a steady local area that urges you to continue onward despite misfortune. Lesson number 18. Ponder previous encounters where persevering through torment achieved positive results and self-improvement. Lesson number 17. Foster an outlook of diligence, realizing that stopping prevents the chance from getting future achievements. Lesson number 16. Recollect that development and achievement come from pushing through distress and embracing the cycle. Lesson number 15. Find motivation in accounts of the people who confronted colossal difficulties and drove forward to accomplish significance. Lesson number 14. Embrace the groundbreaking force of flexibility as it shapes your personality and develops internal fortitude. Lesson number 13. Comprehend that stopping frequently leaves waiting sensations of disappointment and botched open doors. Lesson number 12. Center around the ultimate objective and the satisfaction that comes from driving forward until the end. Lesson number 11. Trust in your capacity to defeat snags and adjust to tough spots. Lesson number 10. Look for help and direction while confronting difficulties to keep up with inspiration and viewpoint. Lesson number 9. Esteem the drawn-out fulfillment of persevering through troubles over the fleeting help of stopping. Lesson number 8. Re-examine mishaps as learning potential, open doors and venturing stones towards accomplishment. Lesson number 7. Embrace the mentality that snags are impermanent road obstructions on the way to progress. Lesson number 6. Find strength in realizing that getting through torment assembles character and flexibility. Lesson number 5. Push past your usual range of familiarity, realizing that the distress is impermanent and prompts progress. Lesson number 4. Develop steadiness and assurance despite difficulty. Lesson number 3. Comprehend that stopping sustains a feeling of disappointment and lament that waits endlessly. Lesson number 2. Embrace difficulties as any open doors for versatility and self-improvement. Lesson number 1. Perceive that aggravation is a transitory encounter that can prompt development and change. Keep going. Your hardest times often lead to the greatest moments of your life. Keep going. Tough situations build strong people in the end. Roy T. Bennett. Lesson number 20. Put confidence in your ability to get through troublesome stretches as well as to prosper and make an everyday presence stacked up with previews of importance. Lesson number 19. Remember that the journey is basically essentially as huge as the goal, and each forward-moving step is a show of your adaptability. Lesson number 18. Grant troublesome stretches to move you to transform into the best version of yourself and show up at your most extreme limit. Lesson number 17. Acclaim each accomplishment and little victory in transit, seeing the progress you've made. Lesson number 16. Keep up with your consideration on the end-all strategy and the positive outcomes that search for you on the contrary side of burden. Lesson number 15. Trust in the power of adaptability, understanding that you have the fortitude to investigate through any storm. Lesson number 14. Embrace the models acquired from quandaries, as they can shape your perspective and dynamic later on. Lesson number 13. Use past triumphs and wins as badge of your ability to beat inconvenient circumstances. Lesson number 12. Work on dealing with oneself and self-compassion during inciting times to stay aware of your flourishing. Lesson number 11. Approach gradually and cautiously, understanding that progress is advanced through consistent endeavor and constancy. Lesson number 10. Embrace the burden and weakness of quandaries as any entryways for self-divulgence and improvement. Lesson number 9. Foster an inspirational perspective that bright lights on game plans and expected results rather than bothering the challenges. Lesson number 8. Search for help from loved ones or a neighborhood can provide backing and guidance. Lesson number 7. Use problematic times as a stimulus for self-reflection and individual change. Lesson number 6. Find inspiration in records of individuals who vanquished hardship to gain extraordinary headway. Lesson number 5. Stay zeroed in on your targets and dreams, regardless, when stood up to with obstructions and hardships. Lesson number 4. Review that your fortitude is developed and revealed during the hardest times of your life. Lesson number 3. Pass forward through difficulties, understanding that adaptability is grown all the while. Lesson number 2. Accept that the challenges you face are setting you in the mood for something more conspicuous later on. Lesson number 1. Embrace the conviction that inconvenient times are possible entryways for improvement and mindfulness. A painter should begin every canvas with a wash of black, because all things in nature are dark except where exposed by the light. Leonardo da Vinci. Lesson number 20. Recall that even in the haziest minutes, there is consistently the potential for light to get through and enlighten the way forward. Lesson number 19. Embrace the secrets and questions that exist in the murkiness, as they can prompt significant disclosures. Lesson number 18. Comprehend that without haziness, we wouldn't completely see the value in the brightness of light. Lesson number 17. Search out valuable chances to carry light into the obscurity, cultivating trust, mending, and positive change. Lesson number 16. Value the significance of equilibrium throughout everyday life, understanding that both light and dimness play their parts to play. Lesson number 15. Embrace the illustrations of differentiation, realizing that they offer a more extravagant and more nuanced point of view. Lesson number 14. Perceive that the presence of murkiness doesn't reduce the force of light, rather, it upgrades its effect. Lesson number 13. Utilize the idea of light and obscurity as an illustration for self-disclosure and individual change. Lesson number 12. Embrace the most common way of divulging and uncovering, understanding that development frequently includes revealing insight into our weaknesses. Lesson number 11. Track down motivation in nature's capacity to feature excellence through the transaction of light and shadow. Lesson number 10. Comprehend that differentiation upgrades our comprehension and enthusiasm for both light and obscurity. Lesson number 9. Look for intelligence and lucidity by investigating the profundities of murkiness, as it can uncover significant bits of insight. Lesson number 8. Value the magnificence that arises when light enlightens the secret parts of life. Lesson number 7. Embrace the shadows inside yourself, for they can offer significant experiences and illustrations. Lesson number 6. Utilize the differentiation between light and dimness to carry profundity and wealth to your encounters. Lesson number 5. Comprehend that it is through difficulties that our actual strength and flexibility are uncovered. Lesson number 4. See what is going on, realizing that even in dimness, there are open doors for development and change. Lesson number 3. Embrace the idea of equilibrium, understanding that light and dimness exist together as one. Lesson number 2. Start each undertaking with a strong groundwork, recognizing the significance of figuring out the shadows. Lesson number 1. Perceive that murkiness is an innate piece of life and can give differentiation to the light to sparkle.
We hope you enjoyed this journey into the world of quotes. Remember, quotes are not just words on a page. They are powerful tools that can shape our thoughts and actions. Use them wisely. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends.